Namaste. Have you ever heard the saying, all leaders are readers? I truly believe that is true. Amazing leaders have many exceptional habits, but one of them is simple. They read, because reading helps them to develop and improve. I love reading because it expands my mind. And Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the mind, once stretched by a new idea, never returns to its original dimensions. Now I want to share 10 life lessons I learned from my favorite book with you, as I have been guided through life's pathways by these enduring advice. I first read The Little Prince in high school, more than 50 years ago, and I have been captivated ever since. I think the reason why I appreciate it is an enchanting tale, and the author's messages of compassion and goodwill never cease to touch the heart. It also taught me that my lack of understanding about being an adult was not because I was not intelligent, but because grown-ups are confusing and spend too much time preoccupied with numbers and rules. My young, impressionable mind soaked it all in and indelibly got painted where it mattered. Easily retrievable when needed. The Little Prince is packed with lessons that prepared us for adulthood, and reading it today, the pages still ring true. It does not just teach children about being grown-ups. It teaches grown-ups about how to be better grown-ups. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry was a real-life pioneering commercial pilot who is known for his lyrical writing as he flew in a pilot's body but viewed life through a poet's eyes. He is best known for The Little Prince, which has been translated into 300 languages, but he also wrote Wind, Sand and Stars, and Night Flight. 1. The important things in life are those which you cannot see with your eyes. Only your heart can sense them. That's lesson number 1. The original words are, it is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. What this passage means is that one's soul or spirit, symbolized by the heart, is one's internal moral compass, which can truly see what matters in life. We must realize that our eyes can actually be deceived by appearances and external appearances. Only our heart or soul can truly understand someone else's true nature. When we meet someone for the first time, the default behavior is to judge the person. But what one sees has no depth and is shallow, and does not necessarily define the person. The way to use judgment properly is to reserve the judgment for someone whom you truly understand and appreciate, one with whom you have developed a relationship. Your heart then sees through the surface and sees what is truly important, because we have grown to care for this person. Simply put, what one feels is more important than what one sees. Remember to look beyond the surface whenever you meet anyone for the first time. Hold the judgment. Click the thumbs up button below if you found this lesson meaningful to you. Lesson number 2. Don't be too fond of numbers. Here's a quote from the book. Grown-ups are very fond of numbers. When you tell them about a new friend, they never ask you the kind of questions that should be asked, such as, what kind of voice does he have? What are his favorite games? Does he collect butterflies? Instead, they ask, how old is he? How much money does his father earn? They really do imagine this is the best way to discover what sort of person he is. Lesson number 3. Don't hide your true feelings. It will cost you everything that is important. The little prince had a flower whom he took care of every day. They developed a special relationship. Then the little prince started hinting at his plans to explore new planets. His flowers, or rather, his flower, whom he has nurtured, protected, and cared for, claims not to need him and to be self-sufficient. Since my hubby died, the one advice that I would give my friends or those seeking advice is remember to tell the one you love that you love him or her every single day. You never know when he or she will be taken away. And so let those words, I love you, be the last words that he or she would have heard from you that day. Click the thumbs up button below if you like this lesson. Lesson 4. Judge yourself before you judge others. The little prince embarks on a journey to visit other planets. On the first planet he visits, the little prince meets a king who reigns over the entire population of the planet and claims to reign over everything. The king then teaches him that judging yourself is far more difficult and at times far more important than judging others. It is only through judging ourselves that we can grow as individuals. Today, we call the judgment of ourselves self-reflection. At the end of each day, it is good to ask the questions, what did I do well today? What could I have done better? Was I loving and kind today to everyone I met? If I wasn't loving and kind, why was I not able to manifest my true self? What about the other person? Triggered insecurity, anxiety, and fear in me that I had to react in a self-protective manner. Asking ourselves those tough questions helps us to understand ourselves and our triggers better. Lesson 5. There is little substance in coveting the admiration of others. On the second planet, the little prince meets a vain man who spends his time admiring himself and seeking the admiration of others. It's important to understand that chasing the admiration of others is not a worthwhile goal because we never live for oneself. But on the other hand, living only for oneself is never to love or care for another, which is an equally disappointing way to live. Lesson 6. Never take yourself too seriously. The little prince soon meets a businessman who counts all the stars in the galaxy so that he can own them. He says, I manage them. I count them and then count them again. It's difficult work, but I'm a serious person. The counting and recounting of his assets has led him to lead a monotonous, lonely life, which leaves him no space to appreciate the beauty of even the stars that he owns. Lesson 7. Enjoy life, take a moment, and take it all in. The lamplighter in the fifth planet taught the little prince the value of taking time to rest. The lamplighter dutifully follows his orders to switch the lamplight on and off through the day. His planet revolves once a minute, so he never gets any moment of rest. He is on a treadmill, just like many of us in our productive years. I've been on the treadmill when I was younger. It was a routine of waking up, going to work, working until late, coming home, going to bed, and then the cycle is repeated. There was hardly any time to smell the roses. If I had to do it over again, I would read more, travel more, and be more reflective. Lesson 8. What makes the desert beautiful is that somewhere it hides a well. Just like the desert hides a well that gives life to anyone stranded in it, there is a blessing in every setback we face or adversity we find ourselves in. Remember that. Hit the like button below. Lesson 9. Care for the people and things you have in your life, as they cannot be replaced once you've tamed them. The little prince once came across a garden filled with beautiful roses, but he could not escape thoughts of his own rose. She was irreplaceable. He thus addresses all the roses in the garden. My rose, all on her own, is more important than all of you together, since she is the one I've watered. And finally, lesson 10, sometimes you have to let those you love fly free. The narrator, a lonely and stranded pilot, has come to know and love the little prince. And yet he realizes that to keep the little prince on earth would be to hurt his friend. Before the little prince leaves, he tells the pilot, "In one of the stars I shall be living. On one of them I shall be laughing. And so it will be as if all the stars were laughing when you look at the night sky." Sometimes you have to let people go, because to keep them would be to trap them. Letting them go may be the truest demonstration of love there is. This thought kept me going, especially in the period immediately following my hubby's passing away. If you haven't read the book yet, do yourself a favor and go pick up a copy of The Little Prince. Or if you don't like reading books, you can watch the animated movie on Netflix. Thank you to the authors who have helped shape my thinking about this episode. You will find my references below. Which one of the 10 lessons resonated with you the most? Please write the life lesson that meant the most to you in the comment section below. Again, my friends, I'll see you next week. Namaste.